So there's a video that's popped up recently, and it's actually an old video. It's at least 22 weeks old. And it depicts two students doing a serpentine drill, and they take what the camera angle depicts as a very risky shot. Well, the internet's doing what the internet does best, and blowing this out of proportion, and everyone out there is screaming about how dangerous this, that, or the other thing is. It's not that dangerous. It's dangerous to do this suddenly. It's dangerous to not have experienced this prior. But there's a bit of information that we don't have, and a bit of information that we do have that we're just choosing to ignore. The 4 rules of firearms safety, as prescribed by Jeff Cooper, are simply this: treat all guns as though they're loaded, know what your target is, what is beyond it, keep your finger off the trigger until ready to fire, and don't point it at anything you're not willing to destroy. Generally speaking, it's only realistic to follow 1 or 2 of the rules at a time in any given engagement. There's plenty of video out there of high stress, real life situations where you don't have any sort of controls, any sort of safety precautions, any sort of measure. Somehow blue on blue incidents don't happen, even though 180-degree rules aren't followed. 2 to 3 of the 4 rules of firearm safety aren't followed. Nothing bad ever happens. So we sit there, we say, well, surely it's just because they're getting lucky. It's either that, or it's that they just have the training. That's a bit of that information that you don't have. Is it the case that these might be experienced students? You don't know. Is it the case that these are inexperienced students? You don't know. You make assessments, and you make subjective assessments at best, that these are inexperienced students simply because they don't move the way you think they should, or they don't look the way you think they should to qualify commando elite or tier 9000 warrior. Simply put, this is stuff that we do in dark realms and scary places. This is stuff and how violent action goes. There's plenty of body cam, dash cam, GoPro, drone footage that we have that suggests that training in this way under controlled circumstances or environment is actually the way it will turn out. And I hear it, you know, well, what if he steps on a bee and he could, well, yeah, but that exists all the time. What if I sneeze doing 100 down the highway? Some parts of the state, of the country, I'm sorry, speed limit's 100, not 60. What if you sneeze at that speed? Oh, achoo! Oh. Or get stung by a bee, or whatever excuses it is you want to make. My response to that is you're just making platitudinous arguments for why it is you don't train that way. We are so obsessed with safety that we forgot that just by pulling the gun out, it's already a dangerous situation. It's already balls to the wall. It doesn't get any less until the threat stops being a problem. Your inability to properly assess the situation under calm conditions, not so calm conditions, or oh my God conditions, is not a consequence of one instructor portraying a drill or not. Now, I'm going to say something a little bit different. Is the drill risky? Yes, absolutely. Is it one that I run personally? No, not me personally. It's not my favorite drill. It's not one I have in my curriculum. But I do understand the drill. I understand the concept being presented. I understand the information being presented, and I understand what the purpose and what the goal is. I don't take any of my training seriously from e-girls, shills, or gamers when it comes to these things, because they're so far removed from reality themselves that they don't know what it is to receive actual training anymore. All of theirs is either handed to them or pandered to so greatly that it's lost all of its meaning, this thing we call training. Realistically speaking, I only have a student for about 16 hours over the course of a weekend. I get 2 days with a person in which I have to put them through a series of drills, concepts, conversations, mindset lectures, the list goes on and on and on, to cement them the idea that Fucked up shots are fucked up shots, and there's an inherent risk and a consequence to that involves someone who should not be shot getting shot. So how do I convey this properly? Do I just set up a bunch of cardboard targets? Well, you fucked it up. Or do I maybe present you with a bit more realistic consequence? Maybe not necessarily for a beginner student having another person within line of sight like that, but for advanced students, absolutely. I now have you for 32 hours total for the first class, the second class, maybe it's the third class, maybe it's the fourth class. You know, we say, oh, they're going so slow. Maybe that's because they're trying to be careful. Maybe it's because they're trying to not have what you think will happen. I don't know. It seems like a pretty logical and reasonable response to this stimuli to me, but what do I know? I'm just an instructor, and you guys are the internet sycophanting for some shill on the internet. Get real training. Your training should be pushing you to the very limitations of what you are physically and mentally capable of doing. It should be forcing you to utilize the 4 rules of firearm safety under stressful conditions. If you are spending thousands of rounds of ammunition and you are not being pressured with the 4 rules of firearm safety while you're doing that, you're just practicing exercises in noise making. If your walls are see-through, it is just a game. There is nothing in between on this. Reality does not have see-through walls. Reality does not have, oops, you fucked up, there's your screwed up time. And reality doesn't have a reset button. It's you fucked it up, and the only person you have to blame is yourself. So it's up to you how you train. But in regards to that infamous video nowadays, it's like the 50,000th infamous video I've seen at this point, including pushing a handicapped man and having other students push forward, some Spanish police officer instructor running back and forth down the firing line, and the trainee cops literally following the 4 rules of firearm safety. But it's never enough for the safety Nazis and the pearl clutchers. So I hope this helps someone out there. You have a good one.